better than good.
I will reduce you all to ashes!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin launch day stream. What is up, chat? My name is Catherine.
My name is David.
We're so excited to have you all join us today. Happy launch day. I know some of you have already gotten a chance to dive into the game with our early access, but as of today, this game is now available on PlayStation, Xbox, as well as Epic Games Store. So just to kind of give you all a rundown of our plan for today, we'd love to kind of deep dive into the game a little bit, show off some gameplay aspects. I know we've been playing for a little bit on our end. David can kind of catch us up to speed where his characters are at and what's going on.
Yeah, I'm going to do my very best to show you guys this game. Not to die a lot, but at least for this, we're actually pulling from my game save file. So I've had a chance to play the game for a bit, but we really wanted to show off kind of one of the earlier dungeons and kind of a mid-dungeon later on to show you the difficulty spikes. Oh, here we go. And the other points in the game as well.
And so something just to kind of let you know what dungeon we're touching upon today. Right now we're looking at the Pravika dungeon. For some eagle-eyed Final Fantasy fans, you might recognize this one. It might look very familiar. And that's one of the coolest things I think about this game is that there are a ton of references to the Final Fantasy series as a whole. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out and look for.
Definitely. And this mode right now, I'm actually playing on hard. And it's not as hard as one would think because I'm actually pretty over-leveled at this point. But if I don't play safe, if I'm not careful, I could die very quickly.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit then about the different difficulty levels in this game. I do see some of you in the chat already typing the command for the sweepstakes. We haven't opened the sweepstakes just yet.
That's right.
We'll be letting you all know as soon as it's time to enter. So hang on tight. I know you're excited, and we'll let you know. Yeah, no, the sweepstakes is not open quite yet, but we'll definitely get to that. So please look forward to it. Just to kind of touch quickly on the different difficulty levels. This game actually has 3 different difficulty levels. There is the story mode, there's a hard mode, and then of course there's a more brutal type mode.
Right.
Within the story mode, which I would consider as if you're looking for a more relaxed gameplay experience, you can also enable a mode called casual mode, and that kind of gives you an even more relaxed gameplay. I always recommend, because this is an action type game, right? Team Ninja did a really awesome job of developing a game that has a lot of unique battle styles that David will explain what he's doing here. But you can kind of scale it and you can change the difficulty at any point, which is really, really awesome. So like if you feel that, okay, you know what, let me give this a try. I'm going to start with casual mode. As you can see here, David is switching. You can change it if you want a more challenge, which is awesome.
And the thing is, you can change it to a lower difficulty mode, but you can't change it to a higher difficulty mode. So if you wanted to do that, you can just actually jump out of the mission and then come back in within the main screen, which we'll show you later on.
Yeah, exactly. So what class are you playing right now? Walk us through this.
Yeah, right now, so I'm actually rocking the Black Mage, one of my favorites, and the Warrior class. So the Black Mage kind of being a lot more range, but it can be very close up, as you guys can see right now. And at any time I can kind of wind up my spells. When you first get the ability to play as a mage, which gives you access to like fire, thunder, earth, and wind. But now that I'm a black mage, the next level up, you could have access to ice, water, and actually a well-known Final Fantasy spell, Flare. So I'll be showing that to you guys a little bit later on.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the cool things too about the mage, and I don't know, chat, if any of you that have already played on the early access there, if you've noticed, the longer you hold on the button, that's what'll charge it up so it can become Fira or Faraga, etc. So that's kind of cool. You really can have some flexibility there. I see a lot of people in the chat saying Black Mage is the best. Okay.
That's the right answer.
Okay, controversial opinion, but I'm gonna say the class that I've been playing is Red Mage actually. I really am having fun with that. It's more of a support type role.
Right.
There are 27 different roles in the game, which is really fun. And there might be a secret one hidden after beating the game.
Right. I haven't even had a chance to do that yet.
We've got some Sage fans in. Yeah, let's go Team Red Mage. See, I'm down with that.
I haven't had a chance to play Red Mage. Like, could you maybe give a quick kind of summary of how that class kind of plays? Like, do they have access to both white magic, black
Yeah,
magic?
exactly. So red mage is considered the advanced type class. So there's 3 different tiers. You have basic, you have advanced, and you have top or expert. Red mage kind of balances both black and white magic. They've got a sword. I just really like it. I may or may not play red mage in our other titles as well.
And they're usually the most best well-dressed too, I would say.
They dress very nicely, absolutely. Speaking of clothes, that's actually kind of a cool thing that I'd love for us to take a look at. So this game has a lot of different loot options, right? And the max level, as you're leveling up your different classes, 30 is the max level. However, the gear that you get and the loot that you get, all the different drops throughout the different dungeons that you do, those scale higher levels. So it's really about making sure you're equipping the right gear for whichever class that you want to do. There's certain different affinity levels. You might get an extra magic boost. So there's really lots of fun ways to customize that.
Yeah,
we can actually take a look here if David wants to walk us through that in the menu here.
Of course, yeah. So we'll jump into the battle settings, and I'm pretty decked out, I would say, a little like very lavish. But with every class comes kind of with different gear. I'm really loving that hat. I'm not gonna lie.
Neo Stark, we do not have full details on the season pass quite yet, but we're very excited that there will be DLC for this game with continued dungeons and continued missions for Jack and his friends to explore. So definitely can't wait for that as well.
But as you can see, there's tons of different items, lots of different customizations. You can really kind of dress your characters or your Jack as you wish. So I really do appreciate that.
And for those that are constantly thinking about style, you can turn off the hats. If you don't want to see your characters wearing helmets, there is an option to do so. But some of them are kind of fun. Like there's that fedora that you just had up. That is wonderful.
I'm not too much of a fedora guy. I don't think I can personally pull it off, so I think Jack's about the same.
Yeah. We won't be showing any cutscenes in our gameplay today, but just to give you all kind of an understanding of the story here, it's about a character named Jack and his friends, and they have one mission and one mission alone, and that is to defeat chaos and restore the light to the kingdom of Cornelia. They don't have all their memories though, and as you continue to play the story, you really start to uncover the true story and hopefully regain some of those memories. So I'm really excited to keep playing and dive into the mysteries.
Definitely. I think the story gets more and more intriguing, that you kind of get yourself invested the more you play. And thankfully this game, it has a nice balance. So, we encourage everyone to dive in. There's a lot of these nodes that are around too that actually play and provide more context to the area, to the map, to the bosses that you'll see. So I think for us, I actually picked up a lot of them because I'm kind of a completionist. But you'll see them as you play through the game.
And on the subject of completionism, because same. The cool thing is once you do a dungeon in this game, you also unlock a side mission that's in that same area that maybe explores some different parts of the dungeon that you didn't get a chance to on the main scenario, which is really fun.
Right.
So you do play as Jack. You can assign, you can rotate out your party members, Nezin. So if right now we've got Sophia, Best Girl, and Jed, but you can switch out. You can bring in Neon. You can bring in Ash. So you do have that flexibility there. There is a multiplayer mode in this game, and in there you can play some of the other characters, but in solo play, you do play the role of Jack.
Right, and I believe you can play up to 3 of your friends in the game, and then at that point you can actually pick which characters you want to play as.
That's super fun.
Yeah. And I'll make my stand right now. Sophia's great, but Neon's Best Girl.
Oh, okay, all right. I actually play with both Neon and Sophia in my party. Neon is a red mage, shocker. Exactly.
So one thing I just did right now is I actually absorbed one of the attacks that the bomb kind of shot out, and that's a lot of, actually most monsters I would say have the ability for you to do that, so I can actually shoot out the fire ability that he shot at me, which you can use on other monsters to take down their break gauge, or just give you a bit more variety in your gameplay, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, you have this ability called Soul Shield, and anytime you see an attack above the monster's health bar that is in a purple color, that's how you know that's one that I can absorb and I can use it later and fire it against other enemies, which is pretty cool. So not only are you using it as a block move, but you're also using it as an attack against them.
Right.
Yes, you can. If you have PlayStation 5, you can play with PlayStation 4 players. They do talk to each other, but it's not cross-platform.
And I'm sure one thing you guys have been noticing as we're going through is I'm just getting a ton of loot. And we'll show it later, but like it just once again gives you the option to really change up your look, but also change up your style and stats of how you're going to be playing this game.
Yeah. And you can have up to 2 classes in your like bank to switch between. You can change those at any point, but you can't switch to like a third one, for example. So right now, what do we have? We have Black Mage and Warrior.
Yeah.
So we can switch on the fly in the middle of the battle in either one of those 2 classes. But if, for say, maybe David wanted to switch to Red Mage, he would have to go back into his menu to be able to do that.
Right. And what's fun is actually at any time during the game, you don't need to go to any of the cubes. You can actually change up your class. So you really have a lot of variety in how you want to play. So if you feel like you're just not liking Warrior or liking like White Mage or whatever it may be, you can always switch up.
Yeah, there really is a mode, play style, I think, for everyone. Like, I think this is a game that is really accessible to all Final Fantasy fans, as well as fans of action games too, right? Which is really fun to experience. I know when I was starting to play it, I did opt for story mode to get started, just because it was a different type of gameplay for me.
Right.
But you get really into it, and it's really fun learning the combos that you might want to challenge it, and you can adjust that or try some of the harder classes and really use them to your advantage, which is really fun.
Right. And I really do love this level. It's just so the contrast between all the glowing flora, the sea flora, let's say that, and just everything else. It's really pretty to see. So I always do appreciate coming back to this dungeon.
The chat is very. You have some eagle eyes, everyone. This dungeon does look very familiar.
Oh, right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I know we mentioned this earlier, but it's like that for many of the dungeons throughout this game. So I can't wait to see what everyone's reactions are as they find those Easter eggs and those moments.
Right, and like social media, I follow a lot of people who are playing this game, and they pretty much nailed almost all the areas that the team was kind of inspired by.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty great.
No, it's wonderful. I know a few folks in the chat were mentioning the original Final Fantasy game, which is great that you noticed that connection. This is, sort of a reimagined retelling of the original Final Fantasy game. So I wouldn't consider it a remake. It definitely is its own story in its own right, but you can certainly see the nods to the original game that we all know and love, which is fun.
All right. And like you see a lot of these attacks, when the enemy goes red, they have an unblockable attack. So at that point, your only choice is to dodge. Ooh, there's a lot happening right now. And if not, you're going to take a lot of damage. And once again, me being a higher level, it's a bit harder to see, but like some of these attacks can easily take out half your life or more.
Something too that I want to point out, if you are in a situation where you've got multiple enemies coming at you and it's a little overwhelming, you can use this move called Lightbringer.
That's right.
All of the classes can use it, which is awesome. It takes up 2 stacks of your MP bar, but it sends this kind of shockwave around you, like kind of an AoE, and it knocks everyone down, it lowers their break gauges, and gives you that advantage to kind of step in.
It definitely makes it easier for bosses, especially those with bigger break gauges, for you to take them down.
Exactly.
Once again, like loving these break abilities, just because you could see like pretty much like suplexed that monster. So it's like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, and they all have very fun animations too. So using that soul burst to really just crush your enemies. And the cool thing about the soul burst is it triggers once you get their break gauge down, which is the secondary line below their HP bar. Once you knock that down, you have the opportunity to do a soul burst, which will take down the enemy regardless of how much HP they have.
Right. And normally right now we're fighting the first boss, actually Bike, but if this was your first time playing it, you would actually see a cutscene that would go through. And actually it's an option to turn off cutscenes or turn on cutscenes again for places you revisited. So if you just want to farm or check out this area again, you can just kind of speed through it if you like.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I'm doing my best.
There's multiple monsters here. Obviously, we don't have enough MP to be able to do that Lightbringer move I was just talking about. So we'll need to we'll need to think our strategy. And I think that's the most fun thing about this game is there's so many different ways that you can use the different classes and use the different abilities to your advantage.
Right, and one ability I just used, which is called Blood Weapon, which actually is, I think, like, if you want to survive in this game, actually my brake just broke, but, oh, he grabbed me.
Oh no, oh dear me.
Okay. Is that allows you, whenever you attack someone, you're going to gain health back. And something like this, where you're only allotted, 5 potions, but then you can actually pick up potions from monsters, it's like a great way to keep in the fight.
Exactly. So basically, how the gear works is gear that drops has different levels. Like the gear might be, maybe it's a level 20 hat or a level 50 hat, right? So the gears do level up depending on the dungeons. Obviously, the more advanced dungeons do drop different gear. I also want to point out that the different difficulty levels also drop different gear.
Right.
So some of the gear that you might get in story mode might be different than the ones in action mode, right?
Yeah. And one thing that was happening, there's so much happening in this game, I love it. But one thing is, as I was actually being grappled, my teammates were jumping in, Sophia and Jed were jumping in and helping me out. Like, the companions in this game are actually really useful, and I rely on them a lot to help me out if I feel like I'm low on HP or if I'm just too scared to fight something, so.
There are 27 different classes, and there might be a secret one.
Yes.
So we're going to jump into kind of taking a look at some menu things in this zone real quick. But before we do, I think we should do our EU friends a favor and open up the sweepstakes for EU region only. Again, we are giving away 5 codes both for EU and 5 codes both for NA. We'll do the NA one in a little bit here. But why don't we give away some game codes?
Yeah, let's do it.
So if you are in the EU region, once we are ready to go, we will have you type in hashtag sweepstakes, and we'll get that started.
Awesome.
So let's take a look at the job trees while we get that up and running.
All right, perfect. So yeah, right now I'm going to be showing you guys the Black Mage job class tree, and I had a chance to actually level it a bit before. So every time you level, you gain a job point, which you can allocate to your skills, and some require 1, 2, 3. The further down you go, the more they cost. And within each job tree, you can actually unlock, as Catherine was talking about before, more advanced classes. So with this, I could either unlock Dark Knight or I can unlock Sage, which I think I saw some chatter about Sage, which is great. So
there was a lot of people in the chat hyping up Sage.
Right. So right now, since I've only done it for the Black Mage, I believe I need to do it for the White Mage as well. I can, once I unlock it and get to that point for the White Mage, I'll be able to unlock that class and give it a try. But for Dark Knight, I actually can unlock it now.
Nice.
And what's great, it actually shows you like a quick, tutorial explaining about what advanced expert jobs and all these other ones do, and actually shows like a fun little video as well. So it gives you a bit more context to how you're playing the game.
It's very, very cool. Yeah, and you can always go back to kind of review those job tips. There also is an area that you can visit to kind of get tutorials for each of the different jobs too, which is a great way of kind of practicing and honing in on those skills.
Definitely. But yeah, so like, I'll show all, like right now I don't have every job unlocked, but like you can see the massive amount of jobs there are. So much variety, so many different things to do. All very iconic to the Final Fantasy series, which we all love.
And just as a reminder, the sweepstakes that's open right now is for game codes for our EU region friends. Don't worry, NA, we're coming for you.
Right.
There is a Dragoon, Pyros. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I believe that unlocks after the Lancer path, and
that's right.
There's usually 2 different paths that you follow to unlock any of those more advanced classes.
That's right. And I accidentally just looked over to where you are, Catherine. I told myself I wouldn't do it, but I did it. But dang. Oh well. That was like 20, 30 minutes into the stream, so I'm pretty happy about that. So as you guys can see, I just have a ton of equipment right now. There's actually an easier way, like since I just changed over to Monk, which is my personal favorite class, is if you just hit the touchpad, you can actually, it'll auto-equip usually the highest level gear to your class and whatever would apply best to your class as well. So, and it actually does it across the board for your companions and for the other job classes you're working on. So it's, once again, with this game showers you with loot, which I love. But if you just want to jump into the action, you can actually just hit and optimize everything. For me, I like to be a little bit more methodical and equip specific gear onto the class, but I won't do that right now because I'll take too long.
Yeah, you can also hit the button that auto-generates it. But yeah, no, there's affinity as well that I kind of want to point out on this subject. So different gear has certain affinity for specific classes. You can see right there under job affinity, there's 25% for this class, 40% for this other class. And another cool thing about that is, say you're playing a class and you've got something equipped that has affinity for another class. Even if you're not equipping that class will gain levels as you're playing, which is really helpful.
Right. And then whatever classes you guys mentioned, so you can see which infinity bonuses you're getting with the gear you're kind of being equipped. So you really can mix and match and kind of have numerous, like a myriad of combinations. So it's really exciting.
So you can have up to 2 classes on your docket at a time. You can rotate those out. You don't have to have, you can switch them at any point. You can go to the cubes, you can adjust your job trees. But while you're in the midst of battle, you can only swap between 2 classes.
Right.
So you kind of gotta, sometimes, I'll go into a boss fight in particular and I won't know what the mechanics are, and I realize, oh gosh, maybe I should have brought one of my mages, or like a black mage, or I should have brought in a pugilist or one of these other classes, right? So there's definitely a lot of planning and strategy that can happen, which is fun.
For sure. Right now I'm jumped into the Smithy, so we're on the main menu, the main screen, the world map. At any time you can kind of open up and you have these 3 options. Your main menu is going through the main kind of things you have, and then you have an option to kind of visit Cornelia within the sense of the menus. So there's 2 options. One where you can actually, between certain dungeons, be able to talk to the townspeople and kind of get a bit more context to the world and kind of what Stranger Paradise is. And then you also have the Smithy, which you can dismantle all the tons of loot you get, which allows you to upgrade stuff. And then you also have the ability to upgrade the special effects on your gear, which you get at first, and then later on during side mission, you actually get to have the ability to kind of re-roll and see what other options, special effects you have for your weapons or gear.
Yeah, it's really customizable in that way. Like especially if you get a piece of loot that has like a higher star rarity, and you're like, oh, I don't want to dismantle this, I want to keep this. Maybe you start upgrading it, and maybe you start building upon those special effects. Right. So we're going to be wrapping up the EU game code giveaway in just a few moments, guys. So let's go ahead and get those last minute sweepstakes in. Right. Don't you worry, NA, we'll get you.
Yeah. And for this now, I'm going to be jumping to the Flying Fortress, which I hope you guys can figure out what this level is referencing. It's a bit more mid into the game, a bit harder, and then we'll try our very best to get to the very end boss, Tiamat, which was shown in a lot of our trailers. It's a very fun fight.
This is a fun fight, and I died a lot.
Oh, okay.
This was one where I thought, you know what, I'm going to adjust the difficulty settings, and I did, and then I realized I needed to maybe take a step back. I got a little too excited.
But with this, as you guys can see now, I'm the monk. I absolutely love the monk just because it's very fast and fluid. The ability with monks too and pugilists, they take down the break meters pretty fast, which is kind of the best way to take down these monsters because you get that sweet animation, but also you don't have to whittle down their HP bar all the way down. So.
Yes, well, we're definitely going to give away the NA codes, don't you worry. And we also have the jackets, which I'm really excited about. I know I'm wearing one, so that sounds silly.
Right, yeah.
But these jackets are very, very cool. They're very, very exclusive, and we're giving away 3 of them.
And what's great about these levels, each of them are so different. Like with these have these electric grids up on the screen. If you knock any enemy or if you knock yourself into them, it's going to take the break gauge down like immediately.
That was a really funny learning moment for me when I was playing this dungeon. So I knocked an enemy into that electric barrier, and I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. It took some damage.
Right.
The environment in this game does react to the moves you do. So say maybe there's a patch of grass and you see a mob of enemies. Mm-hmm. If you use a fire type spell, perhaps the grass will catch on fire, and then you can knock out some of your enemies that way.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But if I may give a piece of advice, don't do what I did. I immediately ran into the grass to grab the loot that the monsters dropped, and the grass was very much still on fire, and so that definitely
that's right.
Definitely knocked down some of my health.
Yeah, and one big thing you want to do is, as you guys can see below the, apologies for not mentioning sooner, but below the health bar, you see the MP bar, and you bring that up by doing the soul breaks, by blocking their attacks with your soul block and things like that. So you really want to kind of utilize that as you get closer to the boss because you want as much HP as possible before you take on that fight.
Yeah. And that's something I think I saw earlier in the chat. Folks were asking again about the difficulty levels. So something to keep in mind: the different difficulty levels also, they have effects on how much damage you do and how much HP the bosses have, but also your MP regeneration. So for example, if you have it set to story mode and casual mode, even if you fall in battle, your MP will automatically regenerate, which is really, really helpful versus some of the more advanced difficulty levels. It'll be right where you left it. So if you used it all, you really got to think strategically when I'm going to use some of those moves.
That's right. And what I like about this kind of class for the monk and for the warrior is that the monk is incredibly fast while the warrior is slow. And I can show you that for any of the warrior kind of classes, it is like a lot of their attacks, they build up to a point. So you can actually, if you build up long enough, you can actually probably take out an enemy in one shot, which I'll probably show very poorly right now.
I believe in you. You've got this.
There. Yeah, nice. So I was able to take out his break gauge like immediately.
And that's really the key to battles in this. And something too to notice as well, I don't know if anyone in chat noticed this, but when David did that soul burst on that monster, on the flan, he smashed it into the rest of the mobs, and they also took a hit from the kind of like reaction of it.
Right.
So, you know, if you can angle Jack in such a way to do that, that's another way of knocking down their gauges as well.
Definitely. All right, but like right now we're in this level. We're at this, as you can see, gear is kind of being hit up to around 40. So once again, like when I went back to Pravika, did I announce that correctly? I think I did. Pravika. I was gonna get that wrong. Yeah, you notice that the gear kind of scales up just a bit, but there is kind of like a cap. And with like one of the features of the floating fortress is that you can turn on these kind of gems that allow these environmental kind of hazards to be turned on. But for something like the flan, where they can take hits pretty well, you want to kind of knock them into these electrical outlets. Like the monk is barely, poking away at its HP.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to point out, right? Like a monk class maybe isn't the strongest class against a magic type enemy like Flan. Maybe perhaps using your elemental magic on Black Mage would definitely do more damage. But David is using the environment around him to get the advantage.
Definitely. And what's great about this is just me like playing a lot of fighting games is that you can kind of cancel an animation at any time. So then as I was doing my punches at him, like in between the very last punch, I actually was able to do the soul break on him, which allowed me to take him out immediately. So I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really fun. There's a lot of different strategies you can implement. And I don't think we've talked about this yet. I know we mentioned Lightbringer as a move.
Right.
But in that menu, you can actually equip different moves. So David has Blood Weapon, Mighty Strikes, and Chakra. But you can actually assign different moves to that set, to that kind of like, you can pick, a better advantage in the battle.
Definitely. And something like Chakra you definitely want to use for certain bosses that poison you or can electrocute you, and it actually increases your immunity to those abilities. So it really gives you, like some are for fun, but like some are definitely for necessity. And I'm like, gosh, I'm just getting hit all over the place.
The chat wants you to live splat the flan into the wall.
Live splat the flan.
The soul burst.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
absolutely.
got it. I will do my best.
Challenge accepted. We will do our best. Yeah, chat is bringing up a good point. Our heroes don't know anything, right? They don't have their memories. They all meet each other, and the only thing they know is they all have the same common goal, which is why they band together, which is really fantastic.
What is that goal, Captain?
I think the chat knows what that goal is.
Yeah, I think they're very aware of what that goal is.
No, of course. We're going to restore light to Cornelia and defeat chaos.
Yeah.
My favorite class to play, Sith Moonweaver, is Red Mage.
Yeah. After hearing that, I really do want to, in my free time, once we get to play this game, I'm going to try out Red Mage.
Oh, look at that. I've got a convertee.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I just really like being able to use a sword as well as magic spells, which is kind of one of the fun things about the mage classes in this game. They start with a mace, which is really fun, right? I think, when I think back to when I played, some of the older Final Fantasy games, you're always seen with a staff of sorts, right? So it's kind of fun being a mage with a mace, right?
Yeah, like I think the balance between being able to cast like magic and pew pews between hitting stuff with a mace or a sword is it's always fun.
Exactly.
And it's a lot happening right now.
There's a lot of enemies right now.
And what you guys can't see is like I'm actually activating Sophia and Jed's abilities, so you can their companion attacks. So they actually can I have like War Cry. They actually activate theirs, so they perform attack which would lower obviously their HP of the enemies, but also the break gauge at a higher rate too. So there is a cooldown for that, but it's extremely useful as you get to more harder mobs and especially bosses.
Yeah. Yeah, and bosses too, you'll notice as you're playing them, they might have multiple break gauges that you have to work through. So definitely keep those in mind. A few folks were asking about multiplayer mode. So again, multiplayer is not cross-platform, but essentially how it works is you can revisit any of these dungeons and play as some of the other characters, right? So which is kind of fun. Then I can, if I want to be Sophia, I could be Sophia if I'm playing with my friends.
Absolutely. Like I love Jack, but if I could, I'd probably stick with Jed.
You'd stick with Jed?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta go with Sophia. Sophia or Neon. I also really like Ash though.
Yeah.
He's so encouraging, and that's one of the fun things about this game. So
Definitely.
when you're switching out your characters, they all have different dialogue, and they all have kind of a different banter with one another, which is fun to experience as you're going through it.
And you kind of encourages you to play, like for me at least, to revisit dungeons and to play with different characters so that you get the different dialogue and just kind of hear more about them, because I do want to learn about these guys.
Yeah, it's really fun. And everyone was talking a little earlier about the memory loss. So I kind of feel like I'm in the same boat, right? Like I want to learn about them too. So I'm learning about them as they're learning about themselves, which is really fun. Yeah, certainly makes for an interesting time.
All right, there we go.
Good job.
I think I want to say like close to. So there's one of the attacks, as you mentioned, with the purple text that you can absorb. So I can absorb it again and actually use it on the bat. So and you can see these attacks actually lower their break gauge a lot faster too. So
yeah, they really do. Those instant abilities are really great. And again, it's the ones that are listed in the purple font. That's how you know. You can still block some of the other attacks, of course, but you can't absorb it and get that instant ability.
Right. And like across, I work on the social media team. Like I see so many amazing videos of people like combining different classes and abilities and skills. I wish I could show that to you guys, but I'm just not that great. So.
No, it's certainly really fun. And again, like there's a lot of flexibility in coming up with strategies and how you can really take down these monsters. A lot of different ways to play this game, which I think is something that I really enjoy.
Right. Well, and what's great is that even your companions can do like soul break too. So it's like they're picking up a lot of slack right now. I'm not amazing, and they're helping out a lot. So I really appreciate that.
Exactly. They say you're doing great, David.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. I was so scared. Like these games that are just meant for like very fast and actionly. It's like I feel like I'm just okay at them. So I really appreciate that.
We're having fun, that's for sure. That is for sure. Speaking of having fun, North America, what's going on, my friends? What do you say we give away some more game codes?
Yeah.
What are we thinking? What are we feeling? Game codes? We are giving away 5 game codes as well. This will be for our North American region, folks. So as soon as you see in the chat when it's time to do the thing, we're gonna do the thing. All right, North America, best of luck. Make sure you type in #sweepstakes, and a friendly reminder to all of those in the EU region as well. Make sure you have your Twitch private messages turned on.
That's right.
You'll receive a message after the stream later on today from the official Square Enix Twitch account that will have the information for your prize.
Oh, jeez. All right, and now I'm fighting Tiamat, so this is gonna be fun.
Oh gosh, this fight.
But what's great is like you just saw any move I can use and essentially absorb with Soul Burst just because. And at that point, I'm getting more MP, and I'm actually dying a lot right now. So let me actually use a potion. There we go.
Yeah.
A lot of these boss fights. There's only one boss fight I feel I was able to take down my first try, and I got extremely lucky. Like, I would say 5 times, like 5 tries at least for almost every boss I've had to fight. Usually, leads me in victory, but it's rough.
Five times.
Five times. That's like the
Wow.
standard, I'd say, for myself.
Oh gosh. Well, you're braver than I am because, like I said, after Tiamat, I was like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. Here's my new strategy. I'm gonna go through the game in action mode, and then when I think it's a boss coming up, I'm gonna switch it back.
Right.
As a reminder, yes, the sweepstakes is happening right now for the NA region game codes. We are giving away 5. Don't forget, we will be giving away this sweet jacket a little later on in the stream, so definitely stick around for that as well.
Sorry, I'm just so focused right now.
No,
Not
you're
trying to
doing
die.
great. Well, and Tiamat has a regeneration ability too. I don't know if you all noticed that.
Right. So then one thing I actually just activated as we were talking was Lightbringer to help bring down. You would see a clear difference of when I do my normal attacks and when I do Lightbringer. So, and
See, and there's the regen move,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
9,999
Yeah.
HP.
Yeah.
Tiamat just restored. Oh no.
Some good JRPG numbers right there.
Yeah. And it's so funny too because if I have the ability to restore my health, I'm pressing that potion button. You can have up to 9 potions at a time, by the way, in your arsenal. No, these jackets will not be for sale, chat. These are exclusive for our launch event. So we're happy that you're all here joining us for it, and we can't wait to see who the winners are for that later.
Definitely.
It's a pretty sweet jacket.
All right.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, I was surprised too. But we did it, chat. Thank you, everyone.
Very, very nice.
I think if we have more time, what do you say, Catherine? Like maybe should I just jump into like a side mission?
Oh, we've
Maybe
got
just
plenty of time. Yeah, let's show them what a side mission looks like. So as I mentioned earlier in the stream, obviously you have your main missions, but each area that you unlock also has side missions, which kind of unlock a little more memories, a little more lore, if you will, and kind of gives you another chance to explore the dungeon.
Yeah, the biggest aspect of it is definitely you get more loot, which everyone I'm sure always appreciates.
You got to get more loot. And for me, I'm one of those people that not only do I want all the loot, but I also want to level up all of my classes. I want to max everything out. I want to make sure I've unlocked all of their job abilities, and that way I can really kind of strategize my fighting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, where are we? Oh, another familiar place, Mount Gold.
Right. Who can know where it's from or where this is referencing? Who?
I'm telling you, that's it. For Final Fantasy fans, you'll really enjoy all the nods to the various franchises.
All right, and I'll actually switch up my team members.
Ooh, okay. What are we gonna do?
I think I'll do to what you said and have have a team of gals on my team and see how that goes through. So yeah, Neon definitely the best.
Yeah. I mean, I love both the girls. I think the characters in this are very, very fun.
Right.
Sophia just has this cool energy.
Right.
Oh,
jeez.
So Chad is asking about some tips on best ways to level up jobs. We kind of mentioned earlier making sure you're equipping gear that has affinity for those other jobs. Those will help level them up. The 2 jobs that you have that are kind of you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, the 2 different jobs that we can swap against, those are getting XP. Those are leveling up. Those are always going to be kind of moving forward in that way.
Right.
All of the other jobs, though, in your arsenal are only going to gain XP if you equip them in that manner or if you have the job affinity equipment.
Right.
But it's at a much slower pace, though, so do keep that in mind. So my best advice then, chat, for if you are wanting to level up your other jobs, everyone loves a good grind. So come back, do these side missions, maybe do them at a different job just to kind of mix it up. I think that's a really great way of leveling up. And you can also switch out your characters' jobs, too. They have 2 different jobs on their end that you can switch out.
Oh my gosh. That's right. And like what we mentioned before, if I wasn't being attacked, anytime you go to battle settings, you're like, I feel like I want to level something else. You can always change your class here.
Exactly. You can always change your class. There's no restrictions there. But when you're in the midst of battle, as you can see, there's only the 2 that you can rotate between.
Right. And then even your companions, they give multiple job opportunities as well. So you really can customize as much as you like.
Exactly. All right, North America, we're going to wrap up the sweepstakes. Are we ready?
Oh, jeez.
Get those last ones in. And don't forget, we will be still giving away the jackets later. This is for the 5
Right.
North American region game codes, and this is for the deluxe edition.
Yeah, I think there's another surprise. I don't think we even mentioned it on social media, Catherine. Do you want to let our viewers know what that is coming up next?
A surprise.
That's right.
I think I'm surprised.
All right.
It's about the DLC.
All right.
All right, North America, we're going to close off. And drum roll, please, chat. The winners for the North American game codes are.
Oh no.
This
Catherine.
is my air drum roll.
Right. It works. It works.
Kaori Konoma, congratulations.
Solid.
East Govna, congratulations. Drumming intensifies. Neki Naka, congratulations. Kuno, congratulations. Mugiwara, congratulations.
Nice.
And those are our 5 winners of the North American game codes. Congratulations, everyone.
Oh,
As a reminder, please make sure you have your Twitch private messages open.
Oh.
You will receive a message. Oh, no, we died.
Sorry, I didn't want to say anything.
No, it's okay. It's a moment. It happens. It happens, chat. It happens. We were just so excited about the winners there. But keep an eye out on your Twitch DMs. Later, you will receive a message from the official Square Enix account, which will have information for your game code.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
So yeah, I picked this side mission to really show off probably one of the hardest things I've had to do in this game, which is fighting the Master Tonberries.
The Master Tonberries.
Right.
Has anyone in chat done this one yet? I would love to hear what you all think.
Right. Like we know as Final Fantasy fans that Tonberries are the scariest yet the cutest kind of monsters that exist, and it applies here where you guys saw the Tonberry completely decimated me, like close to 2 hits. So I'm on action mode right now. So like even on like a medium mode, you really have to be careful with those guys.
Can you pet the Tonberry? Would a soul burst count as petting the Tonberry?
I was gonna say yeah. So I'll say yes.
The Tonberries were very difficult. Chat, I am with you. I can't tell you how many times I died when I did this mission.
All right.
They're definitely very strong, but it provides a fun challenge, right? You know.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go for round 2, but I'm gonna try to take out these monsters first.
Nice. Ooh, that's a very good strat. Picking up the Tonberry with an arrow type move.
Right. So like
Yeah.
magic, yeah.
That is a very, very good strat indeed. The arrow gun move is wind, obviously, as we all know, but it kind of like goes in a line, so it scoops up whoever is in its path. And as the chat is mentioning, if you're by an edge of a cliff, perhaps.
That's right.
Maybe that's one way of taking care of the enemies, right?
That is a legit strategy I've used previously. Oh my gosh, I'm just not doing well.
Yeah. See, yeah. If Jack does the soul burst, that counts, right?
Yeah. And what's great about I guess just a general tip is to have monsters close to edges or close to walls, because if you hit them with your ability and knock them back, their break gauge goes down so fast.
Yeah, it really does. And also, a word of advice, we call these Catherine's oops moments, I guess. This is like the 2nd or 3rd one. Similarly to knocking enemies off the cliff, you can also knock yourself off the cliff. So don't do that. Learn from my mistake. Don't do that.
All right.
This game is now available today on PlayStation, Xbox, and the Epic Games Store.
And to Catherine's mentioned before, there is fall damage. Me falling there isn't that high, but it's something definitely to note.
Well, and also your MP, when you do respawn, which is great. Like it's not the end of the world. If you do fall off an edge, you do reappear. However, you lose HP, you lose MP, so be careful.
All right. Sorry, I'm
no,
extremely
you're doing
focused
great.
right now.
We've got to get this Tonberry. We've got to get this Tonberry.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't worry, chat. We will be giving away the jackets in a little bit here. If you want to read the full rules, type !rules in the chat for a full list on that.
All right, so I died again. It's all right, though.
No, you've got this. You've got this. I believe in you.
Well, actually, maybe it's a good time to show how difficulty works.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's take a look.
So you can change difficulties at these cubes. but only at these cubes. And once again, you can't change it higher, you can only go lower. So right now I'm going to switch it, I'm on action, so I'm going to switch it to story.
Yeah.
But even within story, there's another option, which is called casual mode, which makes it even more like story-focused kind of gameplay. So with this, if I happen to die again, I won't lose as much MP as I did before.
Yeah. And this is why I was mentioning earlier, for some of the more challenging boss fights, I was finding myself reverting to story mode because of that MP regeneration bit.
Yeah.
You absolutely can enter. If you want a game code, folks, when we do the jacket raffle, no worries. You can totally enter.
Yeah.
No problem.
And once again, very nice jackets.
It is very nice.
Maybe we can show the jacket real quick on the screen, just to let people
Oh,
see
sure. Yeah,
the
let's take
giveaway items.
a closer look at that jacket again. Why not?
You just hear the sounds of me getting beat, but it's okay.
He's trying to hide the Tonberry fight. I see what you're doing, David.
You got me. You got me.
For a full list of rules about the jacket, go ahead and hit that link in the MooBot. It's !rules for the full list of rules.
Nice. And if you want more information on what's upcoming, like what's in the Season Pass or DLC for Stranger of Paradise, head to Twitter. And go to, I believe the handle is @FFOrigin, and they've got the latest news. Or follow us at Square Enix.
Yeah,
That's
please
cool
do.
Too. Yeah.
Please do. The jacket is not spandex. It's more kind of like
I don't know fabric.
What kind of fabric is this?
I'm the last person to ask.
It's like a windbreaker.
Yeah, it's like kind of a windbreaker.
there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of. It's very light though, so it'd be perfect for like mid 70s.
Which is like California.
Which is California,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, where we are.
Complex, I feel you. It was the Tion lot fight for me as well. I had to lower it. I struggled. I absolutely struggled.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Tonberry just fell next to me. Oh my gosh, the ogre's still there.
And this is tough too, right? Because you not only got this Tonberry, we've also got this ogre that's on our backs as well. And I don't know if we've brought this up recently, but you can send your party members, like for instance Sophia or Neon, to kind of rush into the battle ahead of you.
Right.
I like to use that when I'm low on health. Maybe my Jack's break gauge is lower and I'm staggered a little bit. I want to pop a potion. I just need like a minute to compose myself. That's a great opportunity to use then. Hey!
We did it. I was hoping to take out Sprite Gauge, but maybe with the next one.
Nice.
Because it is like adorably cute how Jack, I guess, breaks the enemy or breaks Tonberry's. So.
Yeah, there's different animations for each of the different enemies when you use that move, which is really, really fun. I personally really like the animation on the Marlboro.
Oh, right, yeah. It is. It's very cute.
Yeah, it's very, very fun.
And then I'm sure people have seen it in the trailers, but also the cactar as well.
Yeah, the cactar. Yeah, they're really fast too when they appear. For those of you that have had an opportunity to play this game, you'll notice the second the cactar's kind of chilling off to the side, and the second it notices you, it's like gotta go, and then it kind of creates a different challenge as well.
They're pretty much like a loot pinata, I guess is the best way to put it.
A loot pinata.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know chat's talking a little bit about the different difficulty levels, and I really do think this is a great game that's open for anyone of any style of play, and that's why there's those different modes available, right? So you can enjoy what's going to be, the most fun for you, right? Like if you want something a little more challenging, or if you know what, you want to just relax and have a more kind of casual gameplay experience, you can do that as well. So it's really, really fun. As a longtime Final Fantasy fan, I think everyone will enjoy it. As an action game fan, I think you'll enjoy it as well. There's a lot of different unique combos you can learn in this game too.
Absolutely. Like me coming from a fan of I like action, but I am a huge Final Fantasy fan. I don't feel any shame playing this on casual mode or story mode, because in reality you're seeing all these monsters that you're familiar with, the classes that you're familiar with, these story beats that you never get tired of. So.
Yeah, and chat brings up a good point. There is things to do post game. So there, not only is there that mystery job class to unlock, but there's.
Right.
I actually don't know what it is because I haven't beaten the game yet. So.
Same.
But there's a lot more leveling to do, a lot more to explore. There is another difficulty level if you beat the game.
Right. I was gonna say. So if you want to, if you want to punish yourself more, you definitely have the opportunity to.
Yes. So yes, there is an even harder, more chaotic mode, if you will, that I think that you'll all enjoy.
Oh no.
Oh, there's still one more sweepstakes. Don't you worry, chat.
Right.
We will be giving away the Final Fantasy Origin jacket that we're super excited about here in a little bit.
Yeah. We'll get there as soon as.
We're on a mission.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
We're on a mission.
There we go. I'm gonna do my very best to break the gauge.
Yeah, let's see it.
And monks are the best, or monks, yeah, pugilists are the best. I just feel like.
So are you on monk still, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. Oof. Okay. Oh, I'll take that. Yes.
Ooh, that was a very close finish.
Yeah, for me, I absolutely love monks just because it's super fast. Actually, their R2 ability, or just their normal ability, which I can't use right now because I'm actually science, but I can use right now, is they actually heal themselves up a bit, and they gain like a passive to go to attack a bit faster and move their speed. So it's something that I really appreciate, which works with monks too. So, and since I'm constantly losing HP, I think it's really useful, at least for my end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you will notice the speed on the different classes does vary, right? Like obviously, if you're carrying a great sword, for instance, that might move a lot slower than a monk or a pugilist would.
There we go.
Oh, but you do need it. Everyone needs this game, folks, and it's available
yeah.
today.
That's right. On what platforms, Catherine?
It's available on PlayStation, Xbox, and the Epic Game Store. Right. Ooh, great question, chat. There are familiar songs. If you listen carefully, there are. Not just dungeons might look familiar, but some of the music in this game. And I think anyone that's been a longtime Final Fantasy fan and has played a lot of our games is really going to enjoy finding those Easter eggs.
Absolutely.
So you play as one character. We play the role of Jack. He is our hero.
Very handsome man.
Yeah, he's great. And we're joined by his companions. You've got Neon, you've got Jed, you've got Sophia, and you've got Ash. And you can have two of them with you at a time, but you can rotate amongst them, which is really, really fun. But yeah, the only way you can play as the other characters is if you do the online co-op mode.
Which I could recommend to everyone.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. Unfortunately, we're not showing co-op mode today, but it is really fun and does kind of provide an extra challenge to the game.
Right. And we've already talked about more content come for this game. Maybe it is like if you guys really want to see, just let us know, in future streams or on social media if you guys want to see like us try co-op or,
Yeah, that would be super fun.
Right.
No, doing story mode or casual does not lock you out of anything. The only difference between the modes are how much damage you do, how much HP the boss has, and some of the loot. Like you might see a more like a heavier style loot for some of the advanced modes because you might need that better defense versus casual mode where you can get away with having your defense at a certain percent type of deal.
Right. Yeah, so I don't think no one should be shamed for what difficulty mode you're playing on. Games are games. We're here for the experience. So.
Yeah, co-op would be very, very fun indeed.
All right, I'm just having trouble finding this last Tonberry. And maybe I don't want to fight it. I'm kind of scared, to be honest, too.
No, I believe in you. You've got this. You've got this.
All right, but as you guys can see, me switching from action to casual, it made it a lot more, I guess, on my end, more reasonable to take it down.
Yeah.
So, I could recommend it to anyone. Don't worry about the difficulty mode. Just play and enjoy the game.
But it's great that you're all that we're all talking about this and that you're asking these questions. So thank you, chat. This is fantastic. And if you want us to switch up the mode, we're happy to do so.
Yeah, I can try hard if you guys want, but.
Oh, okay. Chat, what do you think? Should we switch to hard?
All right, now I got to finish the level as quickly as possible. Are you down there, Tonberry?
They want to see hard.
All right.
They want to see hard.
I will say I did play hard for when we went to, and I'm going to mispronounce it again, Prevka. But we were much higher level scaled. So yeah, if we see another cube, I'll definitely switch over to hard, and we'll see how much fun that is.
Yeah, the items do scale based on the difficulty level. So hard mode might drop, say, this one like arm piece that has more defense than, say, in casual mode.
All right. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Surrounded by some dark skeletons, no less.
There we go. Oh, stuff's happening.
I'm telling you, Aeroga is too powerful.
Right.
It is the best move in this game.
And people have found amazing uses for it as well, like getting a bunch of bats like stuck in it, and then switching over to Ronin and being like 100% samurai level, and actually taking it, like slashing them all through, you know, and seething the sword so that they all actually pass real quickly too. So it's really cool. But I'll do another quick level, a side mission.
Yeah,
and
let's
I'll do it on hard.
We're gonna do it. Yeah, that move was Aeroga, so that kind of created that windstorm that went straight forward and kind of gathered the enemies and really trapped them in it. I'm telling you, it is the strongest move. It's very, very good. There is post-game content to play.
Right.
There is post-game content to play, and there also is a DLC that has been announced. Unfortunately, we're not sharing any details about that today,
right.
but really excited to see those added missions. I think it's going to be really, really fun.
How much longer do you think we should be playing, Catherine, until we get to the super fun secret?
I think we've got maybe one more level's worth. I think it's good, like 15, 20 minutes. Why not?
All right.
Yeah.
And I realized I need so once again, and we can show you can actually switch difficulties to higher modes when you're in the mission. So you can only do it when you're outside. So let me actually do that real quick.
Okay.
And I can show the simplicity of how you can do it. Because really, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's really great. Everything is in this space.
Right. So within this, you hit the touchpad, or I'm not sure what it is for other platforms, but for PS5 you hit the touchpad, and then from here you can switch over to hard, which I'll just do right now.
Yeah.
And this is actually one of my favorite zones because it references one of my favorite Final Fantasy games.
Ah, okay.
Well, once again, we won't be saying
what we don't want to spoil the fun.
Exactly.
But again, yeah, eagle-eyed Final Fantasy fans, you'll totally recognize these dungeons.
All right.
So we are in the Refren wetlands, it looks like.
Right.
On hard mode, everyone. Wish us luck.
Right, and I think this is appropriate level, like around 40s, 50s, which I am around. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of gear are we sitting at this time?
And once again, like as you guys have been seeing as I've been playing, loot just like showers from the sky. So, I really do appreciate that. And
loot does drop so frequently. So do make sure that in between missions, you are going to check in with the Smithy. I didn't do that for quite a bit, and I realized my inventory was full, and items were dropping that were really high level, and I was like, oh gosh, that would be an upgrade for me, and I had to kind of drop my gear instead of go to the Smithy to get it dismantled.
Right.
So definitely make use of the Smithy, dismantle things. If you've got a really cool weapon or a really cool item that you want to customize, you can upgrade the special effects through the Smithy as well. And some of those items to use to upgrade your items you get from dismantling them. So definitely make sure you're visiting the Smithy.
Okay. Yeah, these guys are taking a lot more hits, guys.
Wow, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah. I like playing Monk, since I'm so fast and frenetic, it feels like I'm a badass, when in reality I'm probably just like mashing buttons, but it still works.
And there are different combos you can do as well. And the game kind of, you can revisit these tutorial modes, if you will, that kind of teach you some of the different combos. In your menu, you can also look at what the buttons are. So say, I know I play on a different setting than you do, David, but like it might be square, up joystick, triangle, or whatever the case is. But you can see what those combo moves are and really kind of get a feel for that action.
Now, I am definitely a type A person, and I believe you are type B?
Yes, I am a type B.
All right. Well,
there are some people who are right, and there are some people who are wrong.
And you don't need to say which is which, but...
But and there also is a custom mode too. So if you're finding that you're having trouble with the controls on Type A or Type B, you can actually adjust them as well.
Definitely, and I think the chat asked us to slam a flan earlier, and there we go. So we were able to fulfill that commitment.
I love it. I love it. Full circle moment.
Oh jeez.
This game is available on PlayStation, Xbox, and the Epic Game Store. There are 27 different jobs, and there's also one secret job
yes.
as well.
And all of them can be leveled to 30. They all have different skills, abilities. They all play relatively unique. So like, there's so much variety, so much you can do. Like, I should try out Red Mage, or I should try out Samurai, but like, I don't want to show it on screen to show how bad I am. But they're really like, the variety of game type is like very nice and astounding. So you really can find your niche. And like me, stick with it, or maybe try different things. So
it's really hard because I feel like once you get that one class that you're really into, I'm like, I'm going to master this one. But it is smart, and it is a good strategy to keep leveling up your other classes, because you never know if the boss fight or any of the battles might require some of those other types of moves.
Absolutely. All right. I think I need to take out 3 more flans.
All right.
But if I don't, let's say within the next 5 minutes or so, like maybe we could switch over and show off some cool stuff and give away cool items?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Oh.
Yeah, there are countless weapons. I see Chad is curious about how many weapons and gear there are in this game. There are so many. There's a lot of loot in this game. And if you're one of those people that really likes to kind of equip and customize your character to max out the different abilities that they have, you have a lot of room to do so. Or if you want to just hit a button, you can also do an auto, and it'll basically attach the highest stats, if you will. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's a Marlboro. Can we please do a soul burst on the Marlboro?
Yes.
This is my favorite animation, by the way. Here it goes. It's just like fireworks, so big.
Super satisfying. yeah. And to what Catherine was saying before, we'll quickly show the amount of items I have right now and like the amount of customization. So like, just like I have like all the different weapons, and they all look like amazing to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's like must be thousands.
And something that you might have noticed too, as you equip different pieces of gear or weapons, it actually changes what the characters look like. So you can see all these different outfits, and when you equip them, that's how Jack will look. For those of you that don't want the helmets on the head, there is an option to have hats invisible if you want, but some of them are kind of fun. So
yeah, and then at that point you play dress up with your companions.
Yes,
I
my
actually
favorite.
do love that. Yeah, this is like
Look
Red Mage. Yeah, it's like.
Look at how great she looks.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think fedoras are in.
Fedoras are definitely
Stranger Paradise
in. I know.
is cementing.
We should have worn fedoras. I love it. It's very, very fun. Yeah, the different gears do have different attributes as well. So definitely something to look for when you're equipping.
Right. Or or just go cosmetic and just like if you want to look like a mage, like
if you want to go fedora, go fedora.
Yeah, exactly. You'll still get a bonus out of it too, so there's still some benefit there.
Yeah. Or if you want to keep them in their stranger gear, that works too. Totally good.
Leave on my personal account after this. I'll show you. I still have it's like level 1 gear, but I love the look, so I'm holding on to that. I'm never going to dismantle it.
You do play as Jack in this game. In co-op mode, you do have the ability to pick some of his friends to play as.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
No. Oh. Hot water. See, that would have been a good one to use your soul shield for sure.
Right. That's right. and with this game too, you can also actually parry, but I'm not gonna. But you can add. So it gives you a lot of more variety just outside of being able to block with your soul or just use L1 to block in general. So there's tons of options here.
There's also advantages to approaching an enemy from the back. You can maybe trigger a specific combo that does a lot more damage if you do kind of like a sneak attack.
Right.
It's fun.
Ooh, it's just tentacles everywhere.
I know. The Marlboros are so big.
So in this vein, we have a chakra. I'm going to apply it right now because I got bad breath on me. So now they're all gone, and now my immunity is a bit higher too. So tons of great benefits there. And it encourages you because you only get that ability when you level up these different classes. So it really does kind of give you the option to try different things and see how they work.
There is no blue mage class, but you do have black mage, white mage, and red mage for your magic users, which is fun.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, and of course Sage. Can't forget about Sage.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm excited to try out. I tried out Lancer. I'm gonna try out Dragoon. I have Samurais. Well, they all just seem so much fun. But like,
Yeah.
as I level through, I am trying to stick with like 2 or 3 classes. Like I do love the mage class because it gives you the variety and the range. But like with Monk, it is a lot of fun just to be very close up, punching all the things. All right.
So that was great doing that soul burst there. It did send a shockwave. It did hit the Marlboro chat. I don't know if you saw that, and that kind of gave us a slight advantage. But since this is a chunkier monster, it didn't quite break its gauge there, but it at least gave us a leg up there in that.
All right, here we go. Boom. All the gems.
Takedown. That is a good one.
And all these like soul bursts are so satisfying and visceral. Yeah, Team Ninja did a really fantastic job.
They really did. It's very, very fun.
I think at this point I'm kind of lost. So maybe
Oh, no.
maybe it's time we do the
Yeah, we do
and-
have a surprise. Did you like how I was like, we don't have a surprise, but we actually do have a surprise
Right.
folks today. We are so excited to share with you. We've got a very, very special message today from Motion Melvin, the voice actor of Jack, and Alejandro Saab here, the voice actor of Jed. They wanted to say hi to everyone, so we've got a couple of messages from them. Let's roll it and say hello to our voice actors.
Hi, I'm Alejandro Saab, the voice of Jed in Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, and I just want to say good luck, because if you're like me, you're probably bad at games, or you're good at games, I don't know, but if you are bad at video games, I wish you luck, because this game from the demo that I had the chance to play is tough for me, because I'm not a good gamer. But if you are good, then great! I'm super excited to play the game myself. I hope you all enjoy the journey, the story of Jack and Party that I cannot disclose because spoilers. But yeah, thank you all for checking it out. Thank you, Square Enix, for having me and letting me be a part of this journey as one of the party members team. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the game, and thanks for having me.
To all the fans, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the game, and I hope you have as much fun playing it as I did recording it and playing it. And I know that it's you guys that make it possible for us to do what we love to do. So much, much, much appreciation for that. And I hope to meet some of you guys out there in the real world. And in the meantime, enjoy killing chaos.
And again, thank you all so much for joining and hanging out with us today. This was a super fun blast. I'm so excited that this game is out in your hands, and I can't wait to see everyone playing it and what you all think.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride today, but I'm so excited that players can officially play it today. Check it out, try out the different classes. We love to see this stuff on social media. So get that share button on, start sharing those clips. Let us know what you think. And yeah, we're just so glad you guys joined us for today's stream.
Yes, thank you all so much. This was super, super fun. We're going to go ahead and sign off here, but for those of you that kind of missed us talking some of the battle beats, if you will, some of the different key points, we're going to roll a video here that kind of dives in a little more to some of the battle basics. So check that out. Check us out on social media, and we hope to see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Uncover the dark beginnings of Final Fantasy's first villain in Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, developed by Team Ninja. Let's prepare for the battles ahead by starting with the basics. Play as Jack, a warrior and a man on a mission. Together with his companions Jed, Ash, Neon, and Sophia, your task is to destroy the darkness consuming the world and fight your way through fierce battles in your quest to bring back peace to the Kingdom of Cornelia. The monsters of this world are tough, so you'll need to be on top of your game to get out of this alive. Deplete an enemy's break gauge and use Soul Burst to stop them dead in their tracks, shattering the crystallized enemy into oblivion. When the hordes of darkness start to overwhelm you, use command abilities such as Lightbringer to knock them back and give yourself an opening. Use your Soul Shield to defend against enemy attacks and turn the tides of battle by stealing their spells and using them as your own. You'll start your journey as a swordsman, wielding the two-handed greatsword. But by battling through the endless throngs of chaos and gaining experience, you'll unlock a multitude of other jobs, each with their own distinctive weapons, abilities, and look. Assess the battlefield and change your job class at the push of a button to keep the advantage. Each job can acquire command and combo abilities. Build different combinations to create your own unique attacks. Unlock these by advancing in your specific job class to achieve points to spend in the job tree. Here, you will unlock new command abilities, powerful buffs, and advanced jobs to help you progress through your missions.
Now we're talking.
And there are many other methods to increase your power along the way. Gear up with equipment left behind from your fallen enemies. Discover chests full of loot in the hunt to empower your favorite playstyle. Match the job affinity of rare equipment to your current job to gain a unique edge in battle. If a challenge is proving to be too difficult, team up with real-life allies to help you push forward. Even if you're at different points in your journey, you'll be able to join any stage you've completed, as well as the next mission you have to take on. And don't worry, the spoils of war will drop individually for each player. Challenge special dungeons, raids, and unique endgame content created with co-op in mind. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. A brutal and dynamic action RPG in a dark Final Fantasy universe.
When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. If they cannot gather the shards of light, the darkness will consume